did. We had dinner. Just wanted to come back and do some more readings for the remaining 6 tribes. So we're going to be breaking these down by element. We'll be doing our fire tribes first, and then we'll be doing our air tribes. So if you have a sun, moon, or rising sign in Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, this next reading will be for you. And then we'll be moving on to air tribes, which will be for sun, moon, or rising in Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Just gonna shuffle a bit more. I'm gonna get some of your energy on the cards, and I'm just gonna crank up some music while we're doing this. Let's see here. What is see? I think we've got enough shuffle going on here. I'm going to go ahead and explain what we're about to read here. I'm going to do a 5-card reading for you with my Rider Waite Smith tarot deck. First card is going to talk to us a little bit about current situation that's going on at the present time. Second card going to talk to us about the challenge, recent past. Third card is going to be our guidance, giving an idea of what's in the near future. Then we're going to take a look at what our focus is. This is going to have a lot to do with the reason for the current state of situation, and we're going to look at a potential outcome. All right. Queen of Wands in reverse looking up at me here. Fire tribes. This could be you. Is this you? Or perhaps someone that you might be dealing with or want to be dealing with. Whoever this person is, I'm hearing got displaced. Maybe they have dysplasia. But I'm seeing this person here that when they're upright, and I'll just say they, when you see these people cards, they can be potentially lots of different people. It doesn't just have to be one person. I'm seeing somebody that if I saw them at the grocery store, I'd say, ma'am, unless I was told otherwise. But know your own gender and whether or not these are even your narratives, first of all. But anyway, when we see this person upright, somebody with fire in their chart, most likely sun, moon, or rising in one of the fire tribes like Leo, Sag, or Aries. And this is somebody that's creative, fertile, knows what their value is, they're aware of their intrinsic value, and they are creative about how they go about things. Usually very gregarious people. When you see them like this, especially hearing things like displaced, it's just somebody that's not feeling good. I'm hearing like real mopey fire sign. And when we see these people, if this is actually a person in reverse, this is not at their best. Sometimes this is somebody that's feeling very deflated. And in some cases, they can be very manipulative too if they're upset like this. It's going to depend on who the character is, but I'm hearing this person might be a focal point right now. Let's see what's in the center of this reading. All right. I'm looking at a 4 of Swords, and thanks to whoever is joining here. I'm not seeing all of the messages come through here for some reason, but I'm seeing the upvotes, and thank you to I Miss the Old Kanye. Appreciate the upvote. Thanks for being here. This is somebody getting rest. This is a time for inaction. This is a very inert energy, and I'm hearing this just might not be comfortable for some of you, especially if you feel like there's something that you wanted to do, but it might just be a time where you actually do need to lay down. I'm hearing about somebody that you might be dealing with. Was it I think it was the water tribes. Maybe you have some water in your chart. I want to check the other readings I did today, but I was hearing about somebody that had like something going on with their back or like a sciatic issue, and it needs to just like rest and relax. But we're seeing the 4 of Swords, and this is somebody that's literally just taking a break. What usually happened before this is a time of difficult, sometimes sorrowful things that led somebody to take a time of contemplation. We're also hearing that there might be a lot that's on your mind, especially if it has to do with whoever this fire person is. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's in the recent past. 5 of Cups reverse. You might be dealing with one of these watery people. I'm really going to suggest taking a look at that other reading like I mentioned, whether or not you have water in your chart. This same card had showed up in some readings I had just done for the general, but upright as an outcome. And I'm hearing for you, you might be interested in why it was showing up there. It might be a continuation of the story in some way, but when I see it in reverse, this is kind of a good thing, because when you see it upright, a lot of times, especially if this is something to come, it's a little bit of a looming foreboding feeling, because this looks like heartbreak. This is somebody that's looking at the cups that got kicked over or spilled. But I'm hearing in this situation, they might have been kicked over. And like the two that are behind this person that they haven't quite been able to focus on yet. This might be like whatever the quote unquote silver lining is. And when you see it like this, it's like, well, that happened already. And perhaps now they're focusing on those cups, whatever was still good. And so when I see this card here in present moment, and the Four of Swords, and this person's actually just resting, we're hearing about whatever might have been emotionally and physically stressful and taxing that somebody was happy to leave behind them. And I'm hearing it's like, if I could do April all over again, I would do it real, is what I'm hearing from somebody. It's just like crying over spilled milk. And I'm hearing for somebody, it's like they're not necessarily crying. It's like they're contemplating why they're not going to cry over the spilled milk, and just being acutely aware is what I'm hearing. Acutely aware of what they could have done differently to make it more real is what I'm hearing. Okay, let's see what's in the near future as a guidance card with card number 3 here. High Priestess in reverse. And I'm like coughing something up while I'm looking at this, and I'm hearing for some of you this is a good thing. High Priestess, love this card. This person could have a lot of Pisces in their chart, I'm hearing. Some strong Pisces element. It could be Scorpio, but I heard Pisces loud and clear. And when the card shows upright like this, especially since it's major arcana, this is a major sway of energy. It's something that changes the way people do things versus how a simple mood might change. I'm hearing that this could have been very well guarded secrets before, especially if this is a person. This could be like dealing with somebody that was not talking for anything. Maybe a reason why this Queen of Wands was showing up in reverse, because if she's showing up right, I mean, she might be short with her words sometimes. Maybe she doesn't get real verbose, but she's direct. She knows what she wants. She goes after it. She will tell you what she wants, and that's it. And if she's upside down like this, she ain't talking sometimes. She's just like, you might be dead to the world to her, you know? And that could have been the reason for some of whatever this past sadness is that somebody's been learning to kind of rest and regain their strength from, is what I'm hearing. But then when we see this in the potential future, it's like whoever was tight-lipped, whatever those guarded secrets were, coming out. This is somebody, and this could be you too. This could very well be you, learning how to find your voice and vocalize something that maybe you didn't have the words for. You might not have had language to explain these things. And that's the thing about life. It's experiential. And, you know, we can be... Hey, baby, my cat's here with me. We can be able to anticipate things to a certain regard, but you know, they say hindsight's always 20/20. You go back and just focus on things that happened and have a new way to think about, well, I could have done this, or now I have this way to explain or quantify whatever this experience was. And this could very well be somebody taking the time, whether this is you or not, to sort out what those words are, especially if it was something you couldn't talk about, and just finally figuring out a way to do that. So let's go ahead and see what our focus is, because this fourth card is going to give us an idea of what the reasons are behind the situation. We've got the King of Cups here. If this isn't you, if this isn't someone that you love a lot, or like possibly in love with, I'm hearing very much in love with for some of you. It could be like the ideal that you carry for whatever a partner is, or masculinity. And sometimes it's like that model that somebody has in their mind of what that person will be like. And for other people, it's really, this might be your father. It could be somebody that was represented before, but it's like the focus, and it's something that somebody's been meditating on a lot here. I'm seeing somebody that's just really spending some time meditating on this other person. And hey, what's up, Eroded Thoughts? Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate the upvote. But if this is one person, you're gonna know if that's somebody for you, if that's one of your characters, and whether or not that's their gender. I would say, sir, unless I was told otherwise, but you're gonna know your gender. This is just the last or the top person in the court cards represented by cups in this deck. And these cups people typically are going to have their sun, their moon, or their rising sign in one of the water elements, such as Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And in some cases, this could be you. Perhaps realizing what it takes to be in the center of your emotions, especially if you were feeling guarded, where you were not able to express your creative, fertile energy. Maybe you were coming out of a difficult time where you're just learning how to finally focus on the good things that were left over and being able to rest in some kind of way and find a voice for those things which were never spoken. And if somebody's going to do that well, it's probably going to be this King of Cups. This is somebody who is absolutely adoring of their family and their loved ones. They will go to any distance, really, and learn how to become that bridge to manage these difficult waters. And it's like, I'm going to say he's off in the middle of that water that looks like it has motion. And he's sitting on a throne there, and it's like his toe is so close to the water, but he's not quite touching it. It's like he's in control of his emotions enough to know what it is to be wet like that, you know, with that water, and to be consumed. And he can hold it together. And he's got a very good character about himself. If he was like this, it's like he would be lacking in those areas, or in some cases just out of control emotions. And here I'm seeing somebody as a focus that has become aware of their emotional maturity in this. And for some of you, that might actually be a person that you wanted to communicate with, if that's not you. And even if it isn't you, if there's a separate person that's embodied this way, it's kind of an advice about a way that you can focus your energy to feel more whole, especially if you're learning to rest and you're contemplating some kind of change after whatever you left in the past that looks like it was probably pretty crappy. So, and I'm hearing it might have just been somebody that needed to go. They're talking about somebody that like had made the decision to go, and it's like somebody else was like, no, it's what I say. But I'm hearing somebody had already checked out. It was like no, I'm already gone. But they weren't making a big deal about it. They weren't trying to be argumentative about it. They were trying to be peaceful. Perhaps because they are like this King of Cups. Okay, let's take a look and see what a potential outcome is. The fifth card. Wow, that's looking great. Two of Cups upright. So this is harmonious right here. If this isn't romantic, it doesn't have to be. I mean, a lot of people will call this like a soulmate card. And soulmates can come in so many different varieties. My little boy was just here at my feet, chirping away my little cat, and he's one of my soulmates, you know? I think our children, our kids, our family, our friends can be soulmates. This can be love too, of a different kind. But I'm hearing for some of you all, this is just literally coming together after not having communication and needing to clear some things up. Because it looks like whatever was left behind left people, you know, these two cups to be dealt with. And, you know, what's on somebody's mind while they're resting and embodying this stable energy is this coming together. And that's a really lovely indication, especially if this is love. And especially if somebody is learning to speak about something they didn't know they could talk about. And I'm hearing it might not be what your traditional upbringing would seem like it would encourage you to do. But I'm hearing for somebody that has like they're saying like real traditional kind of upbringing, that it's like what they're doing is contemplating how they want to do it. And that it's like within the confines of your traditions, that the support has been there for you to do this a certain way so that you can be expressive the way you want, so that you can be creative about it and not be like told how you have to manage certain things. And that's going to matter for somebody. I'm going to get a little bit of advice here. I'm really excited to see this Two of Cups here. I'm just going to grab a few Sibillas and just see what the Sibillas want to say to us about that Two of Cups, especially if we're seeing some High Priestess coming out of the woodwork with perhaps something to say. What is it that we need to be contemplating with regard to this Two of Cups? What do our fire tribes need to know? Alright, I think that would do right there. Alright, Dottore, Veloce Signora, and Gran Consolazione. Okay, so I'm hearing for somebody, it's been like, they have not been talking. It's like, why am I hearing this? It's a song. She's a brick house. And I'm seeing this person that's, maybe you work from home or you're doing something, but show me the husband again. This Gran Signore came out. That might be somebody's father, but God, cards are just showing me Sacerdote, Imenio. They're showing me hands coming together, nuptials, a priest. Somebody might be getting married, or maybe somebody that has been alone or ill for a while, because the Dottore is showing up here. Might be having a romantic situation. There is someone's, I'm hearing it might be their grandmother, La Vecchia Signora. This is the older woman here, and she might have been ill. Maybe somebody's got an ill relative, but I'm hearing that whatever it was, it's like something's coming out, a truth, and for somebody it's going to be maybe a big relief, because this person looks very freaking relieved to be sitting there, and they have a lot on their mind. Money, a ring, some kind of flower laurel wreath thing. And this is a card of protection. So La Vecchia Signora sometimes leaves things behind. I'm hearing if somebody passed away, they might have left something. There's a house here for somebody, and I'm hearing it's like, this is what grandma would have wanted, and you're everything in my sky, is what I just heard. And that's what this person is hearing, and it's like, oh my god, swept away. This is probably going to be very beautiful for somebody. I'm really wishing you the best, Fire Tribes. Let me know if it resonated, and hit me up if you want a personal one of these with just your energy in it. If you hit me up at artoflove.me, book.artoflove.me, I can do them with just your energy on it. I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle up some of these cards here. I'm going to turn another song on and maybe just like walk away for a second, and I'm going to come back and we will do Air Tribes next. Let me find something cool to listen to. How about this one? Not that one. Change my mind on that one. I'm gonna put a different song on for you. How about something Jakob loves? Wow. It's quite slow. aces and 2 kills. And we've got y'all energy on these cards, especially if you are one of my air tribes. If you have air as your sun, your moon, or your rising, which would mean that you have Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini somewhere. And we're going to do a 5-card reading. If you didn't hear the beginning of this, with my Rider Waite Smith tarot deck, I'm pulling 5 cards for you to help demonstrate current situation. And we're looking for this clarity about now and what the current present moment is bringing you. Have an idea of what the past might have been like. A little bit of a future view with some advice around what we're looking at. The 4th card is a focus card. I really like that one because it gives us an idea of why things might be the way they are right now. Oh hey, just putting it in Crimson Cloud. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your votes very much. And then our 6th card, or excuse me, our 5th card is going to give us an idea of what the outcome is, future potential. Okay. Uno. Dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Okay. Well, I do like seeing it this way. So, air tribes, did it feel like someone took a piece of your heart? Hearing that song, that Janis Joplin, is that? Take it, take another little piece of my heart, now baby. Got the 3 of Swords in reverse. If I'm going to see that card anyway, I want to see it in reverse and not like this, because that is ow. Bad news bears. So this is perhaps about what we left behind and what we've healed from. And I say we, air tribes, because I've got an air sun myself. So let's see what we're learning about here. Current situation. 3 of Rods in reverse. Okay, so I'm here. It's like something you really wanted to do and you couldn't do it. And it was you said you weren't ready. It was like you would have had to be ready by March. And something didn't happen. And I'm hearing for somebody, this is like plans that you actually did start that now it's like you had to stop for some reason. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's good that it's upside down like that, because there's 2 3s here, and I'm already hearing it might have been like, it didn't have to be romantic. These don't look romantic at all for me right now. I'm hearing for some of y'all it definitely wasn't, but I'm hearing it's like non-starter situation with third-party drama. And they said drama for your mama. So this could be people with air in their chart too. If you're dealing with these swords, anytime we see that, it could be like you, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini people, whether it's in their sun, their moon, or their rising. Then we also have fire element here showing up, and that's, if it's people, they could have fire in their chart. Aries, Leo, Sag, sun, moon, rising. But that's something that either, if it started to happen, it stopped. Or in some cases, it's like, here's why it didn't get anywhere. Alright, let's see what we're finding out about in the recent past. 4 of Wands in reversed. I'm hearing for some of you, this is like the relationship that you thought you were in, or that you were planning for, and then like not realizing it was just a non-starter for some reason. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, you were perhaps not aware that somebody had made you a third party, or you were being brought in as like someone's backup save or something like that. I'm hearing about, I don't know what that means, backup save. Sometimes I have to admit I'm not that cool. I hear things that maybe sound real cool to some of you all, or some people that I don't even know what they mean. It's like stuff that I'm hearing from guides. And when I talk to people that are dating, sometimes I'll hear about like backup plans and stuff that I wouldn't have had words for, but I'm hearing about like multiple backup plans that somebody had. And it's like you're in one relationship, but you're like ready to jump to another one. I keep seeing this person like getting ready to grab these other ones, or like not knowing which one to grab and just being like, I'm just gonna get one. And for some people, that's like a major deal breaker. So I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, if this is making sense to you, it probably felt like that. If you found out about it, it probably just felt like big time like F this. And now it's like, thank goddess I didn't end up in this relationship with this person, because it was not a stable home, it was not a stable situation. I'm hearing for somebody, this is about creative projects and ventures and things that got started and unstarted. We've had a lot of checks and balances in our face, especially with Pluto now and Saturn and Jupiter in retrograde. And we've had Uranus, our planet of spinning sideways and cut off BS, jumping from Aries to Taurus, and then like doing reversals. And you know, I don't talk about this the way astrologers do, because that sounds maddening and stupid to me, no offense, when I understand that we've been in a massive pressure cooker, learning how to particle fuse in hyper reality, where it's been nothing but light codes that can now be articulated and parsed in IP addresses, in sound, and quantified in things like Bitcoin, which is essentially nothing more than the explanation of how BitTorrents jumped out of the simulation or in to forms. And things are a little different now, and we understand that. We can't be nascent. We can't be unaware of certain information that's been out there. I've been speaking about this very clearly for a while. But what I'm hearing about here is points that people are not willing to reckon with, knowing certain facts. And some of this stuff looks like literally creative projects, things that people had started for stability, and it's like one step forward, two steps back is what I'm hearing. They're showing me somebody doing the hokey pokey. It's like 3 to 4, back to 3 again. And then it's like, okay, are we going to 2 to 1 to 2 again, or are we going to go back up? And I'm just seeing somebody being very dissatisfied about where they were putting their energy, and realizing that they can't be grabbing at too many different straws. So creatively, this looked very blocked. Let's see what we're looking at here in the near future, because this is sort of a guidance card for us now. All right, so more wands. We've got 8 of wands in reverse. You might either have a lot of fire in your chart that needs some expressing, or perhaps you're dealing with all of your creativity and possibly very fire-oriented people, because this again could be communications with creative partnerships that might have triangulated, I'm hearing, and kind of gone haywire. And in some cases I'm hearing it was just like a swirl of communication that couldn't be reconciled because of the swinging gate. They're showing me somebody just like teeter-tottering on emotions and not being able to explain things. It's kind of like if you've ever been, this has come up recently around gas holes, people that will gaslight you, and they're the gas hole version of where people's energy goes. And what it's like to be on the recipient end of what feels like somebody's ringer, where it's literally like they're just chipping away at you and insisting that you have conversations about things that are fictions that they've created, that they either put upon you and say, no, we're going to talk about that, or force you to use their communication tools, instead of realizing that something didn't happen, or they have discredited what your position was. And so this looks like really bad communications that were happening in some situations, especially if there was a triangulated issue with people. I'm hearing for some people too, if it's not anything like that, if it's not like some weird devious thing, this is like showing me somebody that's working from home, and I don't know if it's just like noise. I'm hearing like dogs and stuff just like noisy, and it's like kids. It's just like so much stuff going on, and somebody's trying to get it together, but it's like this, it looks like they're kind of like running backwards, like trying to take care of things in the house is what I'm seeing. So, you know, maybe you have little kids, I don't know, but there's a lot of energy that's scattered here. As a guidance on this, I'm hearing that it's like, focus on what you learned here that did feel good, because there's some communication that needs or wants to happen here. And it looks like something might be a little bit blocked here, but if this is a need to communicate, it's showing up in reverse. And that could be for different reasons with some of you, but this is one of my falling in love cards. This is one of my getting things done cards. This is a great card for confirmation that things are going well and expediently. When it shows up like this, it's kind of like more blocks. And so we might have to do some clarification, but I want to see what else is going on here on the spread here, because we do have a focus and a reason for things that we haven't flipped yet. And that's this fourth card here. All right, Six of Swords in reverse. It's a move or something that somebody either feels like they were forced to, or that they are happy happened. It might have already happened if it's in reverse, or maybe you're looking for a way to do this, because what we're seeing here is, again, three people. And somebody's oaring this boat. There's two right there, and they're pushing away from the choppy water and going towards the more placid area here. And when it's in reverse, because this is sort of a mental energy too, being swords, it's kind of like not being able to face what this moving on energy really has for us. And if we've got a Three of Swords in reverse, it's kind of like it might be time to embrace that. So for some of y'all, you just need to hear it's time. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it sucks, because it's like you're waiting for something to come in from a long distance. And it's like, if it's word about a relationship, it's like you're on the outside of it somehow, is what I'm seeing. And for somebody, it's like somebody's trying to pry into your life, is what I'm seeing here, where they're either trying to get into your relationship or figure out what's going on in your house in a personal way, or you might have somebody kind of being invasive how they're looking upon you. There's a lot of different energies showing up here, Aquarius. And ooh, I heard Aquarius on that one. But it's not just Aquarius. This could be, see, I'm seeing 6 here, which is a lot of Gemini. That's could very possibly be a Gemini. And it could be Libra too. This is, you know, we're looking at air tribes here, but I did hear Aquarius first. And then they kept showing me the 6, which could very much be something that's happening in June, or it could have to do with Gemini energy. But I'm literally seeing somebody that's like, it's like somebody's trying to pull somebody into their world, and I just keep seeing somebody doing it with this stick. It's like something that they're like, maybe it's the same person here pushing that's grabbing at this wand, but I'm hearing for some of you that person's been like grabbing at all kinds of wands, grabbing at all kinds of things, and that might be why there's been stalled communication. It's like, no, you don't get to grab at me too. You know. All right, you're gonna know if that's for you. All right, let's see what the potential outcome is here. 10 of Cups in reverse. Somebody else had gotten this. It was, you might be dealing with somebody that's got a lot of earth in their chart. I think I want to say this showed up for the earth tribes for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn earlier today. And this is, if you see this card up right here, it's like oh my gosh, my life is perfect. I have everything. Oh, my cups runneth over. My family, my children, my legacy, and la 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 la. And sometimes it's kind of like pie in the sky, like, whoa, our dreams were like really out of whack on this. And it can be a long way down if you find yourself on the other side of the broken heart that had to heal from, and now you got all these cups upside down. And I hear for some of you all, this is just like whatever's going on this month or like right now has to do with everything that blew up. It's like everything you said goodbye to, all the plans that you gave, all the relationships and messages that you never sent, all those emotional inventories that you had taken for yourself that now don't even freaking matter. And it's like you are beyond the point. And for somebody else, this is like just knowing that it can only go up from here, because this is the end of the suit too, where it's like I can hear somebody talking about it's like they're saying something to another person. I have put everything I had into this, and this is all there is. And so, like, looks like somebody might be in a flood too. Some of this looks like tornado weather, and just be careful. I need to get some clarification on this, because this is kind of driving me a little bit nuts, I have to be honest. This 8 of Rods in reverse, I'm not loving it. It's like somebody needs to say something and isn't saying something. Somebody is holding somebody else emotionally hostage with this one potentially right here. And, you know, it doesn't have to be you. That could be what you left behind here. But I'm definitely seeing it here very clearly. And I heard Libra all over that one. That one, I just heard Libra. And you're going to know if that's the case or not. But I'm hearing for somebody, it's like realizing that there was a third party in their marriage, and somebody that knew about it, that they could have talked to, that is not there anymore, why the communications have been off, and just like realizing that something is beyond the point. I'm going to get a little bit of clarification on these cards here using the Sibillas. What are your tribes need to know about that? We got L'Amante, somebody's lover. That's the female lover in the deck. Okay, I love her. She is admiring somebody. I'm hearing it's a secret admirer for somebody. They're saying it's just long distance. For somebody, this is just long distance. It's like, my broken heart heals when I'm around you. I need to take this trip. You're the one I can build the house with. Here's the swift communication. We can move together and have everything. And I don't know how to talk to you. I'm like looking at my cell phone at your Twittergram or whatever people do. I'm worm. Oh, militare. Okay, so this is somebody that really knows how to get things done, and they're clean about how they're doing it here. I'm hearing this is somebody that's going to pursue vigilance too, that wants to. It's like this person's willing to take a trip and take very little with them and to go with very little cash. It's like what they have, it's like they go and they make the best of it. Belvedere. What you seek is seeking you. Okay, so I'm hearing this is, all right, if this is the relationship, here we go, speranza. These are the things that are worth waiting for. For somebody, this took on a very relationship, like I love you context, where it's showing up as the things that somebody wants, and it's very passionate. It's all wands, all emotion, and like the desire to move on to like a better place. And somebody that maybe is admiring from afar, willing to go or travel a great distance. It's somebody that's taking a trek, might have even been looking at the mountains or having left them. And then there's this person here that's on a watch. It's, you know, got their scope out. And what's funny is that usually what's looking for them is a lot closer than they realize too. So hopefully that's helpful, because I hear somebody needs to speak up, and it's almost like a stalemate here. So if you were waiting for something, somebody needs to take a stab, because I'm hearing it's like the messages that want to come from the clouds here, and it's like somebody's hooked. It's like they're even showing like these like hooks here, and it's like the messages that are coming in from the clouds to somebody. So check your sun, your moon, and your rising if this is your sun. These may or may not have made sense. Love to hear if they did, and hopefully they're helpful. If you'd like for me to do one of these with just your energy on them, hit me up, book.artoflove.me. I would love to do that for you. If I don't hear from you, take care. Have a good one, and I will be back soon with more. We'll catch you again soon, and bye for now.